I've had an account with M1 Finance for about 4 years now, but I opened my account a few months ago to learn that I was being charged monthly fees. And let me tell you, there are few things that I hate more in life than paying fees, especially on a product that used to be free. So I quickly dug into why I was paying those fees and looked into how I could eliminate those fees. And I'm going to share in this video my solution, I guess, to that and what I'm doing as a result of these M1 Finance fees. So first, just a little bit of background on M1 Finance. If you do already understand and know how M1 Finance works, you can skip ahead to the timestamp right here where I'll talk more about the fees. But I was originally drawn to M1 for its super passive nature, and it has some great features where you can set up what they call pies and allocate a certain percentage of your portfolio to a certain stocks or ETFs. And then whenever you transfer money to your portfolio, which you can do automatically on an automatic recurring basis, then M1 will invest into those stocks that you have specified at the certain percentages you have. And for me, I was sort of using it as an account investing in more speculative things, higher risk stocks that I wanted to get some exposure to, but I just didn't want to, take the risk of buying it, once a big lump sum. So I was just trying to dollar cost average in essentially. And some kind of stocks I have in the portfolio are Tesla, PayPal, Visa, stuff like that. So most of them are pretty big companies still, but there are a few smaller companies as well. And over the past 4 years of having this account, I've invested anywhere between $20 and $100 a month. So not really all that much, but it's just been pretty much on autopilot. My transfers are automatic recurring, and then M1 invests for me, and I don't really look at the account much, but it has grown to a little bit over $5,000 as of the fall of 2024. So everything was going great for me and my M1 Finance account until May of 2024 when M1 introduced what they call a platform fee. And essentially, this is just a maintenance fee, a monthly fee if your account value is below $10,000. And like I said, my account even in the fall of 2024 was only valued at $5,000 since I just didn't invest that much. So if your account is less than $10,000, they charge you that fee, which is $3 a month or 36 total dollars per year. And that may not seem like a whole lot, but let's walk through the numbers. So with my account being valued around $5,000, that's about 0.7% of the account each year in fees. And that may not seem like a whole lot, but those fees compound over time in terms of the lost compounding gain of your investment, and that can really have a substantial impact on your returns over 5, 10, or 15 years or more. And another way I like to think about this fee is it's similar to the expense ratio in an ETF or mutual fund. Typically, an expense ratio of 0.7%, in my opinion, is very high. And if you're paying an expense ratio of 0.7%, you better have some pretty outstanding performance. Well, in this case, this expense ratio of 0.7% is just to use the investment platform, and it's not providing any boost to the investment performance at all. So it's totally unjustifiable in my opinion, and I'm definitely not wanting to pay that at all, and I don't think it's worth it. So because of the fact that I don't check this portfolio very often and it's kind of on autopilot, and also combined with the fact that I was on a big hiking trip this summer and just wasn't checking the market all that much anyway, I didn't notice these fees until September of 2024, and so I ended up paying a total of $18 for 6 months of fees. But once I did notice the fees, I quickly made the decision to basically just transfer this brokerage account to Fidelity, which is where I have the vast majority of my investments. I really like the platform. They have super great customer support and pretty good website and app. It's nothing crazy awesome, but they do have a good interface and they have a lot of features that I like. So I made that decision. In this case, I decided to transfer my account as opposed to just selling everything and then transferring the cash and then buying everything back in Fidelity. And there are a few things to consider and to be aware of when transferring a brokerage account from one brokerage to another brokerage company. So the first thing to be aware of is that only full shares can be transferred in a brokerage or portfolio transfer. And the reason for this is that fractional shares don't actually exist in the stock market or on the stock exchanges. What's happening is the brokerage company actually buys the shares, and then allocates you as the user of their platform a fractional interest in that share, essentially. So you can't transfer fractional shares. Instead, any fractional shares you own are sold, and then just the cash is transferred. And there's two kind of downsides to this. The first one is that your portfolio allocation is thrown off potentially if the stock price is large on some of those companies that you own fractional shares in, which isn't really that big of a deal, but it can be annoying and stuff like that. And then the other much bigger issue is that selling those shares can create a taxable event. Oftentimes it does, especially if you have capital gains on those shares, those fractional shares, then that can create more taxes for you to pay, which maybe you don't want to. In this case, for me, I don't really care about the taxes because my income was super low in 2024. Because of that, I don't really care. I'm pretty much going to be in the 0% tax bracket anyway. So, those taxes aren't a big deal for me. But for most people, that's going to be a taxable event that's going to add to their taxable income and taxes that they pay. Now, the second issue with transferring an account from one brokerage to the other is that the brokerage you are leaving typically charges, you guessed it, a transfer fee. More fees, of course. And most of these are anywhere from $75 to $100 in that range. Some of them might be even higher. But in the case of M1 Finance, they charge a $100 transfer fee if you're leaving. The good thing is the brokerage you are joining and transferring to, they want you to come to them, so they're not going to charge you a fee at all. And the upside is that a lot of times the brokerage that you are joining or transferring to will actually reimburse you for that transfer fee. Now, in the case of Fidelity, the account you're transferring has to be at least $25,000 or greater, or else they won't reimburse that fee. So I didn't qualify for that criteria, but they do have another criteria. If you have total assets with Fidelity already that is worth $25,000 or more, then they will reimburse that fee. And in my case, I have a lot of investments with Fidelity, well over $25,000. And so I was able to get that fee reimbursed, which was super awesome. You do pay it initially, and then after the account transfer process goes through, then you submit a kind of little form on their website basically that says, I want this fee reimbursed. And then it gets reimbursed. It happened pretty quickly, honestly. I was pretty impressed by that. So once I figured out all the logistics there, the actual transfer process was pretty smooth. There were a few little bumps along the way, but like I mentioned before, Fidelity has super awesome customer support, and I've been able to get lots of help from them in the past. And so they were able to work me through those little bumps and get the transfer process sorted out and my account transferred. Now, even though I transferred my account to Fidelity, I still wanted to maintain that kind of passive automatic investment style for that specific account. And the good thing is that M1 Finance kind of pushed the industry to create more features in their brokerage accounts. And so Fidelity now has features where you can automatically invest into individual stocks. So you just set up these rules of what stock you want to invest in, the interval, every month, every week, whatever it may be, and how much you want to invest into that stock, and then it will automatically invest into those stocks for you. So I was basically able to set up those similar rules that I had set up in M1 in Fidelity, and it will continue being this super passive investing strategy that really requires no more supervision on my part at this point. So I set up my same $100 per month deposit into my account and then split that up into a recurring investment of my 13 stocks. And the only downside or annoying part about Fidelity's recurring investments is that you can only have 10 stocks in one rule. So you kind of have to create two rules or two different recurring investments, but you can just set them to be the same date and same frequency and just add the rest of your stocks. So I made two rules, one with 10, one with 3. But the account is currently around $6,500. I'm excited to see where it goes. These are my current investments and positions. If you want to take a look, you can pause and look at that more. And my first recurring investment just went through a few days ago and it went pretty smoothly. Nothing, went wrong. It looks great. I'm super excited to just let this account go and see where it goes. And the moral of the story is if you have N1 Finance and your account is less than $10,000, that's totally fine. But I highly recommend leaving M1 Finance because those $3 per month fees are hurting people the most who have accounts less than $10,000, right? So if you're in that boat, I highly recommend leaving. Um, I don't have any specific suggestions. I do like Fidelity, obviously, but I'm not going to push you towards any specific brokerage. Choose one that you like and you think will suit your needs. But I think the biggest thing is to realize that it's 2025 now, and there's really no point to be paying those fees. There's no reason to be when there's plenty of other brokerages out there that aren't going to charge you those fees. And so, like I said, I would encourage everyone to move out of M1 Finance if you are paying those fees. And just want to say a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for watching the videos and sticking around to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one.